Where do I start? Where do I get my rhythm? Where do I get my groove?
I always start off with a bounce. You just start with a bounce, and then you see.
I'm part of the.
The Timberwolves clearly know how to dress. Getting off the bus earlier on, hoping to secure a win away from home. And we are near. Well, if you... Terrific attitude. It makes him very tough to handle. David, thank you. And the starting lineup for the Timberwolves. Covington at the 4 with Towns in at the 5. Then it's Chris Paul. Then there's Walden. And it's Okogie in at the 2. And for the Mavericks, inside of the 4 and the 5, Porzingis and Powell. Then there's Doncic. Then it's Porter. And it's George in at the point guard. Here's Powell. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
I'll tell you, Kevin, you have to love the intensity that Powell plays with on the glass, using that long body to track down those offensive boards.
Of course, for some players now in their second seasons, you can tell just how big the jump is between that first year and their second year in the league.
I think, Kevin, it's probably the single biggest growth opportunity. One of the things that happens is the game slows down for second-year players. Very rarely do you see a guy take a step backwards. They're comfortable, they're more confident, and they know what to expect.
And the future Hall of Famer continues to get it done. Paul is a special point guard who just wants to win.
And he's got his first free throw of the game.
And over the course of last year, he was up over 90%. And with a stroke like that, you see why.
Well, you think the ownership style of the Mavericks, something the league had to adjust to. Very active, very outspoken. Sometimes I think that rubbed people the wrong way. But now you get the sense it's almost the new normal.
Okogie, the pass to Paul. From 12 feet out. No good on the shot, a bit long that time. Dallas has gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. And the Mavericks, we know, have been trendsetters, investing in development and in technology.
Kevin, they have always been on the cutting edge of data collection and then using that data to give them a competitive advantage. When you're in a business, it's always about what's next? How can I be better?
Outside, Walden. And finished off by A.W.
Terrific finish there. I love when A.W. mixes it up and attacks the defense like that.
Doncic kicks to George. Here's Porzingis. Lays it up and in on the nice reverse.
Man, he's got such a great touch and feel around the basket. He made that reverse look easy.
Here's Okogie, guarded by Doncic. Outside, Covington. And the foul called on Porzingis. That's his first foul.
And you can see he just didn't get squared up with his feet.
Here in the first, just under 2.5 minutes played so far. Deflected by George. Over in the corner, Doncic shoots the 3, and there's George. That's good on the assist by Doncic. And it's 9 points for George.
Oh, great ball movement there.
Hey, look at guys like Otto Porter, Greg. He just brings so much with his consistent outside jumper.
And guys, he's shot threes at a tremendous clip the last few seasons. I mean, really for his whole career. Sometimes can be a bit passive, so you just make sure he's involved and looking for his shot. And boy, have they come out strong, really pounding the offensive board for second chance points.
Okogie, the pass to Paul. 1:43 left in the first quarter. And it's sent back by George. Here's Doncic. And the dunk by Doncic.
Building up a big early lead, they have taken charge of this game.
And they've been doing it largely at the offensive end, Greg. If the defense does not adjust, this could be a blowout.
So the Timberwolves called their first timeout. And you look at Luka Doncic, 6'7", about 220 doors. Is he a point guard? A point forward? I mean, where's he fit?
Well, I think in today's modern NBA, where we talk about positionless basketball, he's the perfect fit regardless of where you put it. He can defend wings, he can defend forwards, and offensively, you want him to be in command of the basketball.
George, that's a two-pointer, and Dallas again with the bucket.
That's their third straight make off an assist.
Looking at Minnesota, they took the win in their last game against the Warriors.
Yeah, and that one, their intensity on the offensive end was not matched by their opponent. That led to some easy buckets.
Well, let's give some credit to the coaching staff as well, recognizing the weaknesses in that defense and going after each one of them.
Walden. Out of bounds, it'll be Mavericks ball. A brief moment here to recognize a player that's really been getting it done. He's earned the Player of the Week in the Western Conference.
He's really been on his A game lately. You know, the way their offense is set up, it really relies on his ability. He sets the tone each time down the floor, and he's been a lot of fun to watch.
Hardaway, no good. Timberwolves trail by 11. To the middle, here's Bell, and he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
How about the recognition from Culver? Terrific at realizing when the defense has broken down.
From deep, George, and right on through for another basket. He's got 5 made on 5 of 9 shooting.
And the defense looks soft early on. They've got to sum it up. A little more sense of urgency.
And here's Walden. He picked up 18 points in their last win against Golden State.
And I felt like his offense fed right into his D. He caused a bunch of turnovers. There was just no let up in him all night.
And so it's the Dallas Mavericks enjoying a 12-point lead as they talk things over during the break. Chris Ball talks about the matchups he faces at the point guard.
Toughest position in the NBA night in and night out as a point guard.
And CP3, one of the most competitive players in the game.
It's an obsession with him, and you can see how hard he gets after it every time he takes the court.
And welcome back to the second quarter of action. Plenty of basketball left to play, but this one has been one-sided so far. And quite a position here for the Mavericks to be in. What do you think, guys?
The offense firing on all cylinders. They dominated that first period.
That's exactly the start you want. You take complete command, and now you've got to maintain that focus.
So on the floor for Minnesota, Bell is out there with Jang. Then there's Walden. Then it's Culver. And it's Bates Diop in at the 3 spot.
And what makes Culver difficult to defend, it starts with the footwork and then the change of pace. And you give him that ability to just rise up and shoot over you.
George, what's the best combination of inside-outside basketball you see offensively now?
Well, 2 guys really come to mind immediately for me. It's Joel Embiid and Anthony Davis, because both men can face up and knock down shots in a legitimate enough fashion that you've got to get out and contest those guys. But the other side of this is they can play in the post and be a legitimate back-to-the-basket force who you've got to guard with more than one guy. I mean, how exciting, Kevin, are Joel and AD to watch play?
They are thrilling. I would agree. And it's Walden missing.
I'm sure he's kicking himself. He hates to blow that kind of opportunity.
Murray finds George. It's deflected.
And great positioning there from Culver. That's what allowed him to get the block.
Kleba with the rebound.
Yeah, you won't see him miss many dunks unless you've got somebody right in his face, as was the case there on that possession.
George, no good.
And after that great first quarter from three-point range, he has finally come back to earth.
Pass to Kleba. Back to George. Beyond the arc. That doesn't go either for George.
This has not been a good period for this guy. Out of sync, not letting the game come to him. He's got to settle down and make shots.
Easy to be excited about AW. This guy doesn't mess around when he's near the basket.
And Dallas calls their first time out of the game. They defeated the Pelicans in their last game.
And guys, they walked into the arena.
One second left. He can't get it to go. And we finished one half of basketball. And after a very lopsided first half, we'll see if things play out a little more evenly here in the second. It's been one outstanding game from George.
Man, how about the amount he's contributing in the scoring column? Through 2 quarters, he has been terrific.
And one would expect that the defense made some adjustments at halftime, but he has the ability to answer right back.
Inside of the 4 and the 5, Porzingis and Powell. Then it's Otto Porter Jr. Then there's Luka Doncic. And it's George in at the point. So that's who Rick Carlisle starts the second half.
Big miscommunication on defense. He recognizes it and quickly takes advantage.
And that's typical of this guy. He's always reading the situation, reacting quickly, and capitalizing.
Here's a Kogi. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
Yeah, way to play in attack mode and get to the line.
The Timberwolves have been solid at the line so far. 4 for 4.
And you think about the Wolves' history. KG clearly their best player, but Big Cat has a chance to reach that level someday.
He does, Greg, and I think we always look through KG's legacy being defined by passion, commitment, and leadership. That was as important as his basketball skill. Karl Anthony Towns is similarly talented, right? I think the key is he just needs to find consistency. That's the last step.
Minnesota making a switch here. Zhang's checked in. Here's Paul, stolen by George. And here in the second half of play, we're just over a minute in. Powell, that's good.
Tell you, even with some physical contact, Powell gets it done. Love his persistence.
Here's Okogie, guarded by Doncic. Okogie, the pass to Paul. And a miss there on the triple.
I'll tell you, it feels all night like this guy's been forcing shots, rushing shots. He's really struggling on the offensive end.
Boy, you have to be impressed with the offensive production. They have got it firing on all cylinders.
And at this point, it is their game to lose. They've done such a good job building the lead.
Oh, just a picture-perfect alley-oop. You gotta love that one, Kevin.
A little surprised, Greg. He didn't go for the big slam, but it works just the same. To the inside. And he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed. Paul's got his second bucket of the night.
Pretty dime there, the kind of ball movement coaches love to see.
From deep, George. That one's not going to go. And Minnesota will come the other way. The Oklahoma City Thunder will be in town for the next one. And that's the first game in a string of 3 straight at home. Paul kicks to Walden. Shoots from 14. Good, and Paul gets the assist. 12 points for Axel Walden.
And you have to be aware of AW at all times, especially when he's aggressively looking to score.
And the Mavericks call time here. Doris, you've said this often, it is incredibly difficult to compare guys of different positions in different eras, isn't it?
It really is. There's so many discussions about who's the GOAT, who's the greatest of all potential time. And there are certain names that are always going to pop to the top of the list, LeBron James. But it's very difficult to me, say, to compare a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of the greatest to ever man the center position, had the impossible to check sky hook. But how do you compare him with LeBron James, who, though he is, and I don't know what position he is, he may be the greatest passer in the history of the league. Like, let's enjoy individual greatness without comparison.
Left side, George. The 11-footer, and it's good, 2 points. George has got 20.
And with the lead, I like the strategy here. Continue to get the ball to guys who can do something with it.
One thing we've learned in the NBA, the game is never over. So you've got to continue to score, continue to build your lead.
Paige Diop, the pass to Walden. Just 5 to shoot. From deep three-point range, an absolute bomb from three-point range. Walden's got 15.
I'll tell you, individually, he is doing all he can. But right now, somebody's got to step in and support this guy.
Outside for George. A three-pointer is right on target. He's got 23.
He tore it up from downtown in the first half. Now hits this one. Dangerous shooter, guys.
Culver dishes to Jang. To the left wing. Towns wide open. And another three for Minnesota.
Boy, they've been terrific from beyond here in the second.
Here's George. Drops in the layup for 2. George has got 9 points now in the quarter.
And what a half for this offense. If they can stay this hot, a great chance to extend this lead.
On the wing, AW. Back to Jang. And finished off by Jang.
Wow, big time size, speed, power combination from Gorgui Dieng. Wow.
About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Here's George. And the rejection by Jang. Outside, Walden. And that one is off. George with the ball. And it's good for 2. George has got 11 in the second half.
Coming off a big game, his confidence couldn't be higher. A coach knows it.
Well, the best players to me deliver night after night after night. So as long as he's hot, keep riding it.
Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. The Mavericks on top. They lead.
Best thing we got is just keep the ball moving, keep the floor spinning.
Getting ready for Dallas. Powell, he's checked in for Maxi Kleba. Otto Porter Jr. comes in for Tim Hardaway Jr. Luka Doncic, he's checked in for DeLon Wright, and Georgia subbed in for Jalen Brunson. Okogie's checked in for the Timberwolves. Paul comes in for Karl Anthony Towns, and so in the game for the Timberwolves, we've got Culver. Bell is out there with Robert Covington, then it's Chris Paul, and it's Okogie in at the shooting guard position. George passes to Porzingis. Bell with the block.
Well, the high motor, versatile defender, Jordan Bell, twice on the pipes.
Culver kicks to Paul. Now, here's Culver, defended by George. The Timberwolves again can't hit. For the 3, good, and the assist goes to Doncic. Doncic has got 5 assists in the game.
Well, all night he has made an impact at the offensive end. Now he's trying to shut the door.
Here is Bell, and George gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him.
And now only 1 away from being in the penalty.
Walden, he's checked in for Culver. Okogie for 3. It's rebounded by Dallas. Earlier, they held a 23-point lead. Ball against George. George double-teamed. Doncic. Yes, once again, he remains perfect. 6 attempts and 6 hits.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Ball against George. Fires at the elbow. Here's Okogie. Nails the wide-open jump shot. If they want to, they can milk the clock just a little bit here.
Yeah, that's the best option.
George with the ball. Now Covington defending. Knocked away. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Paul. And here's George for 3. Another 3 for Dallas.
And so many teams now look to establish the perimeter to set up everything else.
No doubt it's a growing trend, Greg, and he is highly accurate tonight.
Takes the three, knocks down the three ball. George has got 9 points now in the quarter.
Relentless in their approach, even with the game firmly in hand.
This is a textbook example of playing the possession and not the score. This team is doing a great job continuing to execute.
And it's Walden missing. Here's Dallas. They're on a 13-5 run here.
And so just rolling to the finish line now in what has been a very confident-looking performance for the Mavericks.
One area that stands out that we've seen tonight from them, their aggressiveness in getting steals, something I know that you really value yourself.
I think it sparked their offense. It deflates the opposition, and when you have the type of effort we saw tonight, it's pretty hard to overcome that defensive pressure down the stretch.
And every win important, and this one will go down as win number 3.
And this is a great way for them to kick off this season series. 2 more games ahead, and they've taken the mental advantage with this win tonight.
And we watched one guy all night long, guys, and looking at the stats just confirms what a dominant game he had. What a night tonight it was for George.
I think his steals tell the story. This guy was a disruptive force, and I don't think you can underestimate how important it is for a team to have someone in that role.
Shot clock at 6. Back to Paul. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line.
We know this about the Dallas Mavericks. They will put every piece of data and information to use in terms of trying to get an advantage. Think about it, guys. They are now doing blood tests, trying to head off injury for their players. They believe this gives them a clearer picture into the overall health of their athletes.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Marjanovic checked in for Powell. Maxi Kleber comes in for Porzingis. Jackson, he's checked in for Otto Porter Jr. And it's Wright in for Luka Doncic.
Convincing lead with very little time remaining, and the fans are pumped.
Well, they're getting ready to celebrate, no doubt, GA. They know it's theirs to lose at this point.
Right side, Martin. Noel. And he's good on the 3 ball.
Well, that possession to me highlights the importance of creating for your teammates.
And George, here we go. Off on that one.
And maybe not. The ball makes up for it with his tremendous anticipation defensively.
So no problem for Dallas. This game may not have been the most exciting we've ever seen, but we have to appreciate just what a critical performance they put on.
I know their fans appreciated it, and we saw at times just stretches of excellent defense, potency from an offensive standpoint.
You're listening to Hank and the Hornet on Nut.